study that they had me. It was at a laundromat. And now here we're getting started. Melvin Laurie owned it.
And a laundromat?
At a laundromat. We were at a laundromat, and they had a little shop next to the laundromat, and we were having a Bible study. Now to them it was my Bible study, and you know, their building, but it was to be them. So here we are, and Belle was out there picking up the telephone. Somebody's calling me, and Lori's saying to me, if somebody, well, I gotta check and see if somebody's called. This is our first meeting. I run out screaming, get in here now, because Kathy's ready to accept the Lord. And they thought Kathy had told me, but the Lord told me I had a little Christmas box in my hand. Take that little box, because that's going to be the gift that she's going to open, and that's going to be. So I took it, and as we ministered to Kathy, I said, are you willing to receive this gift in, you know, that box? And she did. And as I ministered, I was with Melvin Laurie for about 4 years, and I was the main teacher there. One of the things with them that was maybe would be a little bit different from you, but they didn't like the King James Bible. Well, I had a big one, you know, and I thought, you know, I'm going to get around this somehow. And they wanted NIV. I had to buy one, so I did. So I said, well, we're going to change the program. I've got my King James here. It happened to be one that had so much work on it, a big Bible, that so much in it, that so you girls are going to be the teachers. Now we had a system. There was 5 of us. You each have 3 sentences, and you tell me, you teach me. I'm the student. I'm the student. So we had a system like that. We could monitor, don't talk so fast, and so if you don't know what you're teaching, the 5 of you get together, so they would work on it. But it was so good for them because they became more, alert to the tone of the voice, just go slower, what to teach, and got them to pay attention to what. I'm in a Bible class now, and with the teacher there, yes, he's teaching it line by line, but as they teach it, and they're going to have to read what it says and remember it, so it made a big difference. And that's what helped make these girls. Now they're both teaching. They have every kind of book and video along with them to be able. It didn't start out easy at first, and it started out slowly, just a few. Now Melba's got about 4 men and some women from this. She's still with their churches. Lori has gotten involved with a little church called House of Prayer, and they're connected with Rick Joyner. So Lori and them are being connected now with Rick Joyner and things like that. She just recently went to Mozambique and was teaching the children flute because she's a musician. And Melba now has 2 classes, and these grown men with her. Now those classes are from her church, and they're backed by her church and all. But that she is one of the teachers. But she'd go to conferences with us and go ho hum and wander halls. And she's teaching the book of Revelation now, so it's amazing. She'll call me, well, what about this or what about that? So we keep up, and they were recently down, spent a week with me down where I'm living now in Tampa.
I have a question. I know that you said that when the lady was ready to receive the Holy Spirit, just say you had a little red box. So would you carry us through, walk us through, since we know who the gift was or what was in the red box? Those people who don't know about the gift today, will you share that experience?
It is a wonderful time. It was Christmas time, and you get gifts. But the greatest gift, Christmas time is when we're thinking about Jesus.
Absolutely.
And the gift is, when you think of the things that He has gone through for us.
Yes.
The different things, and when in today's time, maybe you're having a divorce.
Yes.
Maybe your children are sick. Maybe you got cancer.
Yeah.
But He's right there, and He knows your name. You know what He calls me? He calls me every morning when He calls, and I got books and books of all the things He's writing to me. Ellie, Ellie. Now sometimes He will say to me, Ellie, one of your main problems, that flippant mouth. And sometimes I think about a divorce. But, but you just gotta control that, But getting back again to that gift, that precious gift of Jesus Himself, God's only son that came down here as a baby. He spent that time down here as a carpenter's son, Mary's boy. And and you think the things he went through, the wisdom he had at 12 when he sat with all those and having that. But when he was put on that cross, that curtain that was in the temple there that came down. Only the priest could go in there now.
Yeah.
You can. You have that access go directly to him.
Yes.
He knows your name.
Yes.
I don't know how he called me Ellie when must be zillions of Sarahs and everybody all over the world. It's so intimate, that intimate time with him. To get to know somebody intimate, you want to know, what do you know for breakfast? I don't know this lady next to me yet, what she eats for breakfast. She'd tell me, I'd know her. I know that, the Lord says he kind of likes, blueberry muffins with walnuts in it. Now that's a little hard to think, but sometimes I make blueberry. That's really intimate when you get to know what you like for. If you really get lunch and supper, you're really in. But it's that little touch. So with that girl, here's this gift box, and she got to take it with her hands. Would you like this gift of Jesus? And of course, she was ready to accept Jesus coming totally into her life. Now, Lori was in Kathy's life because it was Lori's studio. So one day when Lori, we went to a conference, and Kathy was thinking about getting baptized, but I don't know. And Lori, we were coming back, and Lori thought, the Lord told Lori that Kathy's going to get baptized. We're going back to the church that sent us out. So Lori stopped at a friend's house and got some clothes so that she could get baptized with at that same time with Kathy, making her feel comfortable. And it just all worked together. It was so awesome. These are just small, intimate things of real nobodies in the way of people, but they're poor Melville out there teaching, the men. But I was their teacher for 5 years in their home, and they...
See, and that's what I want you to touch on some more. There are people, such as, we know that we're no ones, how he'll take nothing and use it.
Right.
And bless it. So, if you would just kind of encourage folks to know who he is, what he is, and just give a couple of the miracles and how he's used you. I want to hear about your ministry now, how he's used you, mighty woman of God that you are.
Right now, me, my ministry today is my family. I was with my son, I was with my daughter Judy, and Judy was having troubles. Her husband had died. They bought a home that he always wanted, a beautiful home in Selma, and the ministry that in Selma, we enjoyed our time there. But somehow that home he wanted, she wasn't able to have. She became, she had dementia, and we were in and out of the doctor. I took care of that home, and I took care of the gardens. It was also the package deal was 100 cows.
Oh my goodness.
And Judy and I got these cows. On our better days, she's out on a tractor. We go get the grain, and we got stories about the cows. It would be funny, but
tell us a cow story.
What's that?
Yeah, tell us a cow story. Is there a miracle in it?
Well, the miracle is we were out there and we had grain and the barrels, and we were in the bull field, and she bends over, and the big old bull comes and butts her in the wheelbarrow.
That's how much of a miracle, but thanks for sharing.
We had a friend, Cindy, visiting us, and the cows all got out on the highway, and Judy and I are out there on the main highway, and where's Cindy? Well, Cindy had to comb her hair, get dressed, and put her makeup on. Cindy's learned you don't ever do that again. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Right.
So Cindy was somebody we ministered to that needs to, she needs a, what is it? She needs a
kidney transplant.
Kidney transplant. She has had the opportunity, and when she gets an opportunity, she lets others to take that transplant. She said she knows she's going to die, go to heaven. So she's given away that opportunity several times. She's still here and still ministering.
Wow.
But going back there, and she was quite sick, and I stayed home for 3 years with her and took care of her, and then she was put in a sort of a place was.
I have a question though before you get to that. Tell the people why you serve God.
What's that?
Tell them why you serve and why you love Him the way you do.
Why I did.
Why you love the Lord the way you do.
Why the way I left the
Yes,
Lord.
why
the way
you
I
love
did.
Him.
It just, I don't know what you want me to say, that, what with, I mean,
Because-
I had to take care of her.
Yeah, but other than that, just about your life, because you're 91 gorgeous years old, right?
Mhm.
And I know now, if I had to say, I love the Lord because not only did He save me, He's healed me, He's done all those kinds of things.
Mhm.
And when you want, I want you to sell them. Sell God, sell Jesus, sell the divine Trinity to the folks out
But
there today.
it seems at the time that
Yeah.
my ministry with the people ended up back because she was very sick.
Yeah.
With all the troubles we had with her and all, and where she is, my son came and got her out of this building where she was in a mental building.
Yeah.
She'd been there about a week or two,
Yeah.
had her hair all rolled up, different ones showed her how to roll her hair in toilet paper and all that. She couldn't do anything. And they came and got her, and she ended up at Rodney Brown's church as a student for a year, getting all hundreds.
So God is able. So
Roger
you tell the
Brown.
folks that you gotta know that through it all, He'll bring you through, right?
Right.
And what
And
else?
then was with her. I
I
came.
have one more question though, excuse me. The other question is, when we were talking before we began to air, you were saying how you were a millionaire, and then suddenly you had nothing.
Right.
What kind of feeling would you share? Because there are people who have had much and now are destitute. How would you
Well,
tell them to hold
I
on
tell you,
and roll with that?
At the beginning, it was rough. There would be times when I'd say, I don't know, because by then we had sold a lot of our equipment, the motorhome and the things to be able, the cars and things, to be able to have the filming equipment and things like that. So there were a lot of times I thought I was going to drown, and it just seemed a vision of a life raft.
Right.
Always came along, and something came along. There was another car, another home, another apartment, another place to go. Just like getting that car, the motorhome paid off, and
Yeah.
the things like that happened. It wasn't easy, but we always had somewhere to stay. And I mean, a home in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, that's what, yes.
Yeah, I mean, a home in Beverly, the studio in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't pay any rent, we did nothing because it was a group time to buy it, and we were, the Lord had been telling people in that building for 7 years that ministries were going to start there, but it just didn't seem that you couldn't get it going. Like Trinity took off so much like that.
Right.
And it still isn't in Hollywood going, but
Right.
yeah, it was, we always had something to eat. Sometime maybe we didn't have anywhere to live in a different town or something like that. I guess we always had a car, but maybe a 19-foot trailer would belong to us. Maybe this would come, always a different place, and the different homes and the different things like that people that we didn't know and even that would step forward. But when my husband passed away, there was no money for a funeral, and all the money was put together for him, a big funeral, the burial, the coffin, the whole thing, with these boys. I don't know if we got into there, that we were in for several years. I lived there for 3 years at this ministry in Lake Placid, Loving Hands Ministry, with the boys, and the money was raised there for that. But when before I was old enough to get anything after Bill left, I did end up working with were like a home companion or things like that, and different things like that. But my main thing now is just being with one child after another, with having problems, with needing doctors, maybe learning to be overcomers in the business world and things like that.
Well, would you say that you truly, I would say this about you, that you truly know that Jehovah Jireh
He took care of
is
me.
your provider.
Oh, I got another one.
Well, let me hear
Another
it.
one.
All right.
Oh, a good one.
All right.
We're living in Hollywood, California, and there's a big meeting. Well, I was in Hollywood. I worked with a Christian film woman who, what she did, judged the films and was able to give a qualification. Mary Dorr, she's very famous. Well, they're having a meeting at the Palladium, and I didn't have a dress to go. I couldn't go. I didn't have anything to wear. Well, one of the board members, June, was in Las Vegas, just walking down the street, and a very famous actor got mad at his mistress and threw all her clothes down on the sidewalk, and June picked up one, and it was very beautiful and fit very nicely, and I went to the Palladium meeting.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, just, I mean, the
Oh
need
my goodness.
was so many, the needs were met in so many ways like that, but
Wow.
there's so much more, but I can't begin to remember it all, so
That's
something
all
like
right.
this, but to go from, you know, having so much and then walking away from the alimony, because I could have still stayed in that house
Yes.
and still would have had it, you know, but something, and to make that plunge
Yeah.
from that life to being, it just,
Amazing. I heard the pastor say once, and I feel that you'll be able to identify with this. If you give it up, you can have it all.
he says if you walk away from your home, your children,
Everything.
I didn't see my children
Yeah,
for
yeah.
13 years.
Wow.
Right.
If you give it up, you can have
You
it
get it
all.
back 100%.
I promise you.
Yeah.
Hundredfold. Good man.
Hundredfold.
Pressed down.
Children,
together,
the
right over.
beautiful
Yeah.
home, the cars went, the motor homes went, all of it. Judy and I and my son, my husband, we were called to a meeting out there out west somewhere, Kansas, of evangelists, and we went to that. It was our honeymoon
All right.
in our motorhome.
Uh-huh.
Judy was a little depressed about something, and my other son, so they went on our honeymoon with us.
Oh my.
And they both get to this meeting, and so many of the prophets from those meetings there came out and ministered to both of us. They were both called strongly from my womb and their life.
Absolutely.
Now Judy's doing a lot, has done a lot, and is doing now. Maybe just down to being Mother Teresa to her neighbors, but you know.
Oh, she's gonna be far more than that.
Yeah, right.
So in our final moments here, what would you tell the people to hold on to?
For me, it had been called to be a watchman on the wall. My problem is my age, and so the letter had said, you know, you're getting as you see these things, you share with the people. They don't believe you and all, but he said, you know, I want you to relax. No, I'm in charge. Because he said, you know, you don't know what I see when I look down there every day. I need just some praise and worship for me every day. What you see, is your husband, what I see for bread. And he does call us our husband.
Yes, yes.
And he said, what I see, I just want people to praise and worship me as I go out there and know that, you know, that the things are already told, it's going to happen and all. And that the times are going to be hard, and to just be very close to him, and he will be there for you. We're going through some emotional things. I have 25 grandchildren, and
Hold on, woman, we're running late. Have a brighter day in the Lord. God bless you. I pray you enjoy this awesome testimony. Oh man, from the penthouse, from the hall pen to the penthouse, from the penthouse.
I live in a penthouse. Don't tell them.
Oh my goodness.
I live in a penthouse.
Oh my goodness. What a mighty word today. Hold on. God has you. No matter what it looks like. It gets better. I like to say this, and this is terrible vernacular. It gets gooder and gooder with the Lord every day. God bless you, and may you hold on to his unchanging hand. Amen.
But
God bless you.
How do you turn it off?
Bless.
The red
Where
button.
where I live now is a beautiful penthouse.
Yeah, oh,
And
parents.